Adrian, this is Sriya this side. Very good morning to you from India. Just to understand here, the entire situation began with regime change. And as you say that, yes, the end goal is regime change. But, with the last 24 hours and the different players that have gotten involved, we see European countries now coming in to say that their air bases may be used by the United States to launch an attack. We've seen Iran losing their sympathy with their neighboring nations itself, who initially were condemning probably the attacks made by the US and Israel, which were completely unprovoked at that point of time. But even they have now come out to condemn that Iran is attacking these nations and they will not have it. They will also support the Israeli side and the United States side. We are looking at a much larger escalation, would you not say, at this point of time, which goes beyond just regime change in Iran?
I wouldn't put so much is towards escalation. Yes, more individuals are getting involved, but it's further putting the Islamic Republic into a box, into a vice, and they're going to feel pressures from all sides. This is a regime that really is built on a house of cards, and tyrannies, empires, dynasties, whatever they may be, they eventually implode from the inside, and the regime has all those. The perfect recipe for collapse. It just needed an outside push. And the regime, since October 7th, has really been October 7th, 2023, has been bringing this to themselves. And I'll tell you a dirty little secret about the Gulf countries and also the United States and our foreign policy is. One, our foreign policy it waffles, and we're not great allies. It shifts from one election cycle to the next election cycle. And the Gulf states, were in a dangerous position. They were on the precipice of a nuclear-armed Iran that really is looking at, it's an imperialistic power that looked to dominate the region. So in the back halls of Riyadh or Oman or these places, they're saying, this is actually a good thing that's happening. Now that it looks like the tables are shifting, I think we can get on board with this, especially with our messaging.
In fact, Adrian, what is also important to note is the timing of the strikes, the joint strikes that were carried out by Israel and the United States on Iran. The diplomacy was underway. The talks were underway between United States and Iran. And just 24 hours after those talks, we saw what happened in Iran. Now, what the Iranian side is claiming that it is, in fact, the United States that has completely bombed diplomacy. And now diplomacy is completely off the table and it's time for war.
Well, I would, first of all, caution everybody to listen to what the Islamic Republic says through their official channels. And number two, I would say that diplomacy has been tried over and over again. Obama tried it. He put him into his nuclear deal that they cheated on. They were enriching well beyond the 3% threshold and up to 60% threshold. Then they were put into a maximum pressure. Trump tried to negotiate with them from 2016 and 2018 until he decided that was going nowhere and put him into the maximum pressure campaign. So now what we have is, again, we had the first round of negotiations before Operation Midnight Hammer, again, on their nuclear program. And they weren't serious about two issues. And they're tied to one thing, and this is the production of a nuclear weapon. Any country that can enrich and reprocess produces a nuclear weapon. That is throughout the globe. That is without debate. They would be the first country in the world that doesn't do that. And they were never willing to give up on those two things. So the negotiations, there were negotiations to nowhere. Diplomacy with the Islamic Republic is when they really pull one over on you in a lot of cases. You sign a deal and then they cheat on it, as the IAEA was very clear on their cheating on many of the nuclear deals and file, as far as enrichment levels, hidden nuclear sites, you name it. So diplomacy with the Islamic Republic, unfortunately, 47 years shows it has not worked. So at some point, you got to stop offering carrots and give them the stick, because that's all they really respect.
Very, very true, Adrian. When the Israeli side had come out to speak at first, when those strikes hit Iran, they said the same thing. That diplomacy is not the way around with Iran. They are to always be put on gunpoint, and that's how they respond. And that's what we see at this given point of time. Only Iran has now vowed to, in fact, take action and not back down before their enemies are over.